It's only windy.
Very windy.
It's only windy, yeah. It will probably take a while before that banner hangs. The BAPCO show is starting tomorrow. They're already building up the whole show at the show floor behind me. The English people take security very seriously. So that means I'm only allowed to enter that room over there pre-show when I'm wearing this yellow vest. The risk of being hurt inside when building up the show is very big. Let's go inside. This is a high-risk area at the moment. People are building up the stands. If you look at it right now, it's only 20 hours before BAPCO show starts. And this is the result. So that means there's a lot of stuff to do here.
Good morning everybody and welcome to British APCO 2018, the 25th conference and exhibition for this organisation.
I'm just walking out of the conference room right now. There's the keynote being done right now at the moment, but that's also the reason why at the trade show everything is really empty, despite the fact that there are a lot of exhibitors talking to exhibitors. There is a company here at this event that I visited previously when the build-up was there. It's John Swarbrick with Andromeda. They claim to have a device that can be used on the ESN network. I believe it's just around the corner, and that is the device over here. That's John Swarbrick. He is responsible for that ESN device. John, thumbs went up on LinkedIn. You get a lot of comments. People are very happy with that device. They like to understand what's all about it. You felt there was a need for a device like you have designed, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I think we are seeing, all around the world, we're seeing this idea of convergence between two-way radio and LTE. And I think, obviously we're seeing it at ESN, which is all the talk today, and of course FirstNet over in the US. But I think the challenge that we're seeing is, as the devices have converged, I think device manufacturers have started to focus back on the technology, and they've started to say, great, now we can stream video, we can run apps, we can, do all these great things on a smartphone. And what we've done is we've actually looked at the guys on the ground who are actually using these devices day in and day out and watched them really closely. And what we've seen is that when you look at two-way radios, the reason they have the form factor they have is because they're designed specifically for the job that the guys on the front line do. And we think in the future, I think everything will transition to a smartphone, but I think in the short term there needs to be an intermediate step, a hybrid device.
And that's what you have designed.
That's what we tried to create right here, yeah.
And that's in your hands, right?
That's right, yeah. So if you imagine that, this half of the device is effectively a smartphone. It's got all the app functionality, it runs the latest Android 8.1, everything you'd expect from a smartphone. But then that's where the familiarity ends. And the rest is effectively a two-way radio device.
Well, that's an amazing device actually, but you're one of the few companies who designed a device, maybe specifically for ESN, but what is your impression? Are you thinking to sell it elsewhere as well? FirstNet, something interesting?
Yes, definitely could be. We're watching that very closely.
All right.
So.
At this show, ESN is the buzzword. It's all about ESN. It's all about the devices that work on ESN, the applications that work on ESN, the progress on ESN, challenges with ESN, and of course the benefits of ESN. And if you don't know what ESN is the Emergency Services Network here in the United Kingdom. The network that will be replacing the airwave Tetra network for critical communications. Velkommen skal du være. I just wonder if I'm on the list. They're preparing a list right now. My name should be on the list to view the demo. And with a lot of familiar faces here in this room. Peter Clemens is there, Barbara Held, the TCCA guys are there. It's a big crowd actually. All insiders within the critical communications industry. But Steve, we're in the lion's den, is it actually, more or less? We just had a demo of the live ESN network. The first demo ever available, right?
Yeah, the very first time we've been able to demonstrate ESN live on the EE network, Samsung ESN device, ESN SIM, running into the Motorola. So for us, it's an absolutely massive step forward. So that was the 7th session we've run over the 2 days. All 7 have gone exactly to plan, so I'm really pleased. I can uncross my fingers, my nerves have all disappeared. When we did the first one, it was all about, oh, will it did, and it's just held up exactly as it should. No reason it won't, but as a demonstration, these things are always a bit.
Did you receive the questions that you thought you would receive from the audience?
Yeah, we get a real buy-in from the audience. That they're different audiences at each one, different sets of questions, but you can see how that relates to their concerns from a user, or when it was a more open session for how it works in general, the technical. So yeah, I think we're getting the sort of questions we'd expect.
And will we do more sessions over the coming weeks, months?
Yeah, so we've got 2 more today, but then the plan is that we'll actually go out in a sort of a roadshow style to go out to our users around the country so that we can take the demo to them. And as more functionality comes in, then we'll look to go back round that loop so they can see the functionality and they can see the journey continuing.
I'll bet not only end users in the United Kingdom are interested to see those demos. As we have seen here, some variety of people here in this demo session from other countries as well. You receive probably a lot of requests from other countries and other governments, is it?
Yeah, we're very happy to host other governments, and we've hosted, for example, this year Germany and Japan already. We hosted a whole load last year, and we're very happy that they're most welcome to learn whatever they can from how we've gone about it. Is everything we did perfect? Of course it isn't, so they can learn from what we got wrong just as much as what we got right, hopefully.
Finally proof of the pudding, is it?
It is.
Okay. And it's a beta version?
It's definitely a better version, and it works.
And as the event is not a really large event, it's just a 1-minute walk to the booth of Motorola Solutions. Yep.
That's your Americano.
So what we got here?
So we have in the UK about half of the police force is using Pronto, which is the electronic pocket notebook, which is a complete digital replacement for an officer's paper notebook and all the associated
That's
paper
stuff
forms.
you sell elsewhere as well, right? But it's been used in the UK.
Yeah, by half the police forces in the UK. So if you imagine an operation officer no longer carries around a paper notebook and a suitcase full of forms for tickets and statements and fixed penalty notices and those sorts of things. It's all now done on a single application. So everything you're doing during the course of your shift is time date stamped. So as I go through a demonstration, everything I do, every search I do, every ticket I issue, every statement I take will be automatically time date stamped and recorded in my device. It provides officers the ability to be deployed and see the logs to incidents they're turning up to. So this is Surrey and Sussex who use a storm command and control system. So you can see issues that incidents you're being assigned to while you're en route. So this is all information that the call handler's taken from a call from a member of the public. They put it into the CAD system. It's been deployed to me, so I can now see the log entries of the incident I'm turning up to.
Right. By the way, this is David Robertson from Motorola Solutions, and he is responsible for the program with Pronto
yeah.
And now the fingerprint.
Correct. Yeah. So the fingerprint biometrics capability is an extension to the pocket notebook, which I'll come on to in a second. Yeah. One thing that we've recently added to the solution, because the Home Office have opened up the Home Office, as part of the Home Office biometric program, they've opened up the biometric services gateway. So what we tend to find is everybody has the application on their device as a core part of the Pronto solution. They will then buy a standalone fingerprint reader device.
Certified?
It is certified.
FBI certified?
Exactly. So it's FAT 30 or FAT 45, whichever. Exactly. Which is why they don't use the fingerprint recognition on the device. It's not quite there yet.
Well,
I'm sure.
The funny thing is, I'm starting to remember. Back in 2003, Motorola was heavy into biometrics. 2003, 2005, 2006, maybe 2007. They sold the biometrics department to, I believe, Sajim.
Right.
So that was gone. No biometrics Motorola. Then we had a company called Vlatacom coming into the industry with a big device which you could use as a police officer. And you could put your fingerprints on it. Now we're back to a simple device like this, and that to catch the fingerprint. So Motorola back in biometrics?
Yeah.
Can you say that?
Market leader in biometrics in the UK.
In the UK, all right.
Policing biometrics.
All right, okay. Not everybody outside Europe knows exactly what BAPCO is. Probably you know what APCO is, that's in the United States, but Ian, he's the CEO of BAPCO. BAPCO is in the UK.
BAPCO is in
what
the UK.
What does BAPCO stands for?
BAPCO actually stands for the British Association of Public Safety Communications Officials. It started 25 years ago as a part of that APCO International, but we've moved on since then. Communications 25 years ago meant standing talking to each other as you and I do now, but people communicate in so many more ways now. So we've taken that original thought, that idea, and BAPCO is all about advancing technology for public safety. So we bring together anybody who's involved in public safety technology, the commercial side, the users, into a common space where they can share ideas to improve public safety for everyone. It knows no boundaries, it shouldn't know any specific technology. So it's not about being an official, it's not about whether you talk, whether you work in a control room, it's if you work with public safety technology, you should be a part of BAPCO, so that's what we're trying to do.
I just wanted to reiterate what John said.